guys, it's me, Stupid, here for another video. I'm playing some solo duo. Already checking the freaking game. People fighting outside, I never noticed. I can maybe hit this kid. There's the one, I dare you, buddy. Buddy, I dare you. I just seen a kid. Oh yeah, and they added double barrel and revolver back. Totally missed these two guns. Yeah? Yeah? I'm in a match. I'm done with my homework. I am not gonna hit y'all so far. Y'all can't even hit me. Don't die. Shem. They added the revolver back and the double barrel. I'm so garbage. I'm gonna thank you, Pop. Oh. That's tough. They're both low. Boy, I'm gonna steal my kill like that. Buddy, chill. Oh no. I might die now. No, 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 no. No, I wanna die. I wanna die today. Wait. I might make it. I'm about to die. Shim! I just killed a duo. I'm dropping that 6-kill game. I'm doing a solo duo. Oh, a structure right behind me. I got 3 meds. Oh no. Oh no. 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 I might be. I have more meds. Let's go. Bah. Yeah? did it. Yeah. I'm in a match right now. Shem! Can you bring out my homework for me? Can you bring my homework back downstairs? My homework is over there. Huh? No, I got meds. Both.
This one is done?
Yes, they're both done.
What about this side?
What side? Oh, I don't know how to do that. I asked Mommy.
I can tell you how to do it.
No, they don't.
Huh?
No, they don't.
I said I can tell you.
Well, I don't know what to do. And it's... I might drop that kid. I might drop a 10 bomb. I just took up the half lobby. One tap the kid. Kids these days trash. I'm not trying to rush no one. I'm trying to stay alive and get this W. What? That looks like a cube. Are you kidding? I just got another kill. 8 people left. This kid's dumb. This kid killed himself with his own dynamite. I might use the kid for it. I'm gonna save the last little kid. Oh, that's taking too much. Why am I so garbage at this game? I wonder now. I didn't even have to waste a bullet on that kid. Oh my. This side, I'm on the slow side. So that's fast. Right here's the, right here's the slow ride. Oh my god, we have 8 people. That's 2. Are you kidding? Why did I run? That's a 7-kill game though. That's tough. Wait a minute. 7 out of 5. They both garbage. They both hot garbage. Oh, actually. Props to that one kid to have 7. Props. See if there's anyone on. Carbon gold. Let's go. My cars are like this. The only thing I'm gonna have carbon gold is mostly the pistol and mostly the pump. And like maybe sniper? Should it? Sure. That's all 3 each. Okay, that's fair. That's equally fair. This skin, get it up. Who does like this skin? Oh, I know why they put in so much Chinese skins out, because it's like the what is it? I forgot. I had it in my mind. I just had it in my mind a second ago. Wait a minute, I need to go on Google. Shema won.
What?
Yeah.
Solo?
Yeah.
Lying.
For real?
How many solo ones you got?
No, solo. That was solo duo.
Oh, the duo is not solos.
Come here, look. You know why they put in out so much Chinese skins and they just put one out?
It's Chinese New Year?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't know what Chinese New Year is?
No.
They had their own New Year.
That's tough. I never knew that. Oh, so I'm gonna play this now.
Yeah. Back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Foreign shit running up.
And also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. So, Gene, they lived with their parents, Howard, as his sister was very combative. His mother walked around when he and his sister went, never found any trace of the young girl. After Martha Jean disappeared, her devastated parents couldn't make their marriage work and divorced. In the year 2000, many years after Martha Jean disappeared, David was arrested for writing a bad check. When they brought him in for questioning for the check writing, 24 years after his sister had vanished, he suddenly made a disturbing confession. David was speaking with Detective Sean Tice and told him that he had to get something off his chest. He confessed that he was responsible for his sister's death. He told the detective that he buried his sister in a local mine. The police searched the mine, but there was no sign of Martha Jean. Since there was no evidence, they had to release David. In June of 2010, Detective Tice and another detective, Howard Cole III, decided to make one more attempt to find out what happened to Martha Jean. When they spoke to people who were close to the family at the time, they suggested that the officers take another look at David's story. When they brought him in for questioning again, he admitted that Martha Jean had asked him for more money when they were at the old college. He refused her request. When he refused, his sister went after him and hit him. When he pushed her away, she fell over backward on a piece of metal that was coming up from the ground. It pierced her skull, and she died. He believed the accident was his fault. David said he tried to help his sister. He picked her up, and there was blood coming out the back of her head. He tried to call out for...
Huh? Going to the store? Okay. I'm just doing regular solos now. I'm very bored. Oh, yes. Let's go. Shield. Bruh. How am I knowing what I'm getting?
But there was nobody around. He decided to cover up the accident, and he used an old street sign as a shovel to bury his sister. When the detectives asked why he didn't tell his parents about the accident, he said that he was worried about their reaction. He said that he feared his mother and was terrified of her possible reaction. When the police placed a photo of Martha Jean on the table, he signed a confession admitting his role in his sister's death. David drew a map so the investigators could find his sister's body. Unfortunately, though, they never found it. His mother didn't believe David had anything to do with it, and she told police that David often told
How much ammo I have? 22.
wild stories for attention. He even withdrew his statement later. Police had no choice but to drop the case. Even though they did believe he was guilty, they couldn't file charges. Also, the law changed since 1985, and based on his age at the time and the circumstances surrounding his sister's death, he couldn't be charged. We may never know what really happened to Martha Jean on that Thanksgiving Day. Subscribe for more. Facts Verse presents. Missing boy comes home 3 years later, but everything isn't what it seems. If you're a fan of Facts Verse, do us a favor and click that like button. And also, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. When a child goes missing, it is a nightmare for the family. They stay up nights waiting and wondering if their child's ever going to come home. In some cases, the child is found and returned to their home. In some cases, though, the child is found dead and the family grieves. Or the child disappears entirely and they have no idea what has happened. That's the worst. The Bartleys had to deal with the trauma of having a missing child. When the teen boy was missing for 3 years, they finally returned home. But everything was not as it seemed.
What?
Nicholas Barclay from San Antonio, Texas, was a troubled child. He often fought with his parents and his teachers. He even acted aggressively toward them. Due to his disruptive behavior, Nicholas also got himself in trouble with the law, and he was scheduled to appear in court. Sadly, though, Nicholas would never make it to his court hearing. The night before Nicholas's court date, he went to play basketball with a few of his friends. When they were done playing, his friends returned to their homes, but Nicholas didn't. He was never seen again. At first, his parents thought maybe their son had run away to avoid going to court. But as time went on, they realized he would not have stayed away that long, and he was likely really missing. Flyers were distributed, and local counties were notified about the boy's disappearance. One morning in 1997, 3 years after Nicholas disappeared, his family got a call from the police, and they said that they found Nicholas. They said that they met a man who claimed to be Nicholas in a small town in Spain. Nicholas's family was so happy that their son was okay, and they waited for his plane from Spain to land so that they could all be reunited. When asked what happened to him, he said that he was kidnapped and put on a plane to Europe, where he was sold into a child sex trafficking ring. He said that when he escaped his captors, the police in Spain found him. When Nicholas first got home, his mother noticed that something was off. She said her boy's hair color and eye color had changed. Nicholas told his parents and the police that his captors had dyed his hair and medically changed his eye color to disguise him. The family was still happy to have their son back, and they believed his story. One person, though, didn't believe. That was Charlie Parker, a private investigator. Charlie would not believe that the boy's eye color could be medically changed. Also, after going through something like what Nicholas described, he should have been traumatized and withdrawn, but he wasn't. Charlie started examining photos of Nicholas before he disappeared and realized that his ears were totally different than the ears he had now. The man wasn't Nicholas. He was actually a Frenchman named Frederick Gordon, who was posing as the boy. He was known by Interpol as the Chameleon. He was wanted for impersonating missing children all his life.
First of all, little boy, you better stop. First of all, first up,
He had masqueraded as hundreds of different people, including Nicholas Barclay. He said that he got the idea to impersonate Nicholas when the Spanish police who found him said that he looked a lot like the missing boy. When Charlie told the family, they couldn't believe that it wasn't their son. According to reports, Nicholas's uncle Jason didn't think that this man was his nephew from the beginning, but he passed away before he could tell people his theory. When Frederick knew that he'd been caught, he claimed to have his own theory about why the family was willing to accept him. He said that Nicholas's family killed him, and when Frederick showed up, he covered up their crime. Charlie wanted to know what happened to the young boy, so he tried to find evidence that his parents did have something to do with his disappearance. He even dug up the Barclays' backyard looking for a body, but there was nothing there. Charlie still isn't convinced that Nicholas's family is innocent. However, there is no evidence against them. To this day, the whereabouts of Nicholas. Factsverse presents Mother and son go missing, and police, always hard on them, decided to get a divorce. And when they started fighting over custody of their son, Richard, things really got ugly. Shannon claimed that Michael was abusive to his son, but that didn't stop the judge from giving him full custody. Shannon was livid when the judge made his decision. She thought the only way to keep her son safe was to take off with him without telling Michael where they were going. This is technically kidnapping. When Shannon failed to bring Richard home after her scheduled visit, Michael began to panic. He filed a missing persons report
Jaden,
and
join the party, buddy.
never see his son again. He never once thought that something bad had happened to Shannon and his son that kept her from bringing him home. He knew immediately Shannon had kidnapped the boy, though. For 2 years, the police searched for Richard and his mother. Each time they had a lead, it led nowhere. Fortunately, Michael refused to give up hope. Many people believe that Shannon's mother, Diana Dobbs, was helping her hide and keep Richard out of sight. The police were so
Jaden, join the party, buddy.
sure that they searched her home a number of times. Unfortunately, they never found Shannon or her son. Finally, the police received an anonymous tip that gave Michael the good news he needed. When the police received this tip, they went to search Diana's house again, and they were sure that he was inside with his mother somewhere,
and I
and they
got the
refused to give up
game.
until they found him. After taking a good look around the house, and they were sure that he was inside with his mother somewhere, and they refused to give up until they found him. After taking a good look around the house, the police discovered a secret room. When they removed the door to the room, they found Shannon and Richard both crouched down, hiding in the secret room. The police couldn't believe what they were seeing, because the hidden room was no bigger than a crawl space. This mother and son went missing for 2 years before the cops finally found this hidden door at Grandma's house. The police had closed the case. Because Richard had hidden away for 2 years, he didn't get to go outside. When the police found him, he was extremely pale. He also wasn't very healthy because, again, for 2 years, he had no access to...
Yeah. Whoa. Hey, wait, my OG friend. Jay, where you wanna go, bruh? Bruh. Wait, that's too far. Yeah, Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Which one? Make up your mind! Salty then. Yeah. I'm gonna salty. I'm gonna salty. You already want to salty. I'm gonna salty. No gun already. Jaden, I'm gonna come to you as quickly as I leave my house. Because I see you have Big Blue and I have no gun. Okay. I had no gun. That is my excuse.
Medical treatment. After being evaluated by medical professionals, they found that Richard was socially stunted because he didn't have a chance to spend time with other kids. The poor little boy had no social skills whatsoever. When the police walked Richard out of the house, he ran around as if he had never seen the outdoors in his entire life. When Richard was found, Shannon and Diana were arrested. Michael was called and Richard was given back to his dad. When Child Welfare investigated, they found out that all of Shannon's allegations of abuse were made up. They found that Diana and Shannon were the real abusers because they kept the son hidden from the world, away from school and other children, and they neglected to take him to a doctor regularly.
Do not ask what I'm watching right now.
After Diana was released from prison, she did an interview. She allowed Good Morning America to go into her home to see the hidden room where Shannon and Richard hid. Diana says that she's not a criminal, and her daughter is not a criminal. First presents. Girl waves to officer every day, but when one day she doesn't, he investigates. For most kids, home is where they feel the safest.
What dance is that? I swear that dance is annoying. Stop. Do a different dance. Hey, stop pickaxing me, kid. Yeah, you haven't seen an OG before?
Parents who
But you haven't seen it with me before?
worried more about their drug habits than their children.
Oh, yeah.
This is the way that Quinn Scales grew up. It's the true story.
Are we landing that? Where are we landing that?
But the day she doesn't wave, his gut tells him he needs to investigate
I
her
want.
home.
I'm down.
Quinn lived in Kansas City, Missouri with her parents and her 2 brothers. When she was 9 years old, she and her brothers were never fed. Her parents often left them alone or slept all day because they were so high on drugs. To feed herself and her brothers, Quinn would go to the 7-Eleven down the street to steal food. She knew that it was wrong, but it was the only way the kids could eat. Each day, a police officer would pass by their house when Quinn was on the porch. She would wave to him.
What building? Here, follow me. I know a good building. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Jaden, I need help. Jaden, there's a kid in this house. I have no gun. If you could give me a gun, that would be very helpful. I will take any gun you have, a sniper or something. You have any ammo? Jaden! Buddy! Wait. Jaden, he has 2 shotguns. Which one? Which one? I will give you the double barrel. Oh, I'm at 5 HP. I'm surprised I missed that shot. I need. Oh. Thank you. You have any sniper bullets too? Come over here and drop them. I'm human. I've done it. I just got right in the cheeks. Wait a minute, I can maybe snipe that kid. Oh! He's a pipsqueak. Bop. Bop. Oh, that's tough.
Clint, he was one of the only adults that she could trust when she was little. Locked. When he went inside, he found the officer's name, Clint, waiting there for him. His gut told him that something might be wrong, so he went and knocked on the door. Nobody answered, so he jiggled the doorknob to find the door was unlocked. When he went inside, he found Clint on the floor, barely conscious, and she was having trouble breathing. He quickly scooped her up and took her to the hospital. Turned out the little girl was suffering from severe malnutrition. Had the officer not gone into Clint's house, she likely would have died. Not long after, Clint moved to Texas, and she never saw the officer again. As she got older, she never forgot about what happened, though, and she wanted to find who the officer was that saved her life, and she'd like to thank him personally. Well, close to 20 years after the incident, Clint, a mother herself now, remained curious about her savior, so she created a post on Facebook to see if she could find him. Facts First presents. Man posts photo of his new dog, and people call the police. Anyone who has a dog knows that they can be great companions. Dogs of all breeds bond with their owners just days after their adoption. Dan Tillery and his girlfriend Megan adopted a dog. This guy posted a picture of his new dog, and people immediately called the police on him.
Why is everyone coming around
bought their first
me?
home together in Waterford Township, Michigan.
People's
When
gonna
they
come
moved into
around
their new
me
home,
now.
they realized that they
Look.
finally had enough space to adopt a dog. They lived in an apartment previously, and
Where we landing now? Where we landing at? Alright, can we land that? I wanna go retail. Right! Notifications. I was swerving. I was swerving. I hope we go outside tomorrow. We have a sub. We have a sub tomorrow. Half day. Hello, champ. Well, the kid left. The little chicken neck. Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Get him, Jaden! Oh my god, Jaden, he's one hit! Brother! He's one hit, by the way. Oh. He's at 10 HP, bro. Bro! Jaden, you just got wrecked. Oh, God.
too small there for a dog. Besides, dogs weren't allowed. So, Facts First presents. Dogs bark furiously in the bushes. When the owner sees why, she grabs her grandchildren and runs. Before we get to this dog in the news about pit bulls attacking people, but this is when the pit bulls have been raised incorrectly. Raised to be violent. They're not naturally so. These new animals, they've given the entire breed a bad name. While people are so sure that pit bulls are a violent, don't allow residents to own pit bulls because of that. And that's sad. Pit bulls are considered bad only because of the actions of a few. They're actually very loving, loyal dogs. In fact, there are a few pit bulls that show these dogs really are great dogs.
You guys, I'm gonna end the stream here.
Slayer
See you guys.
and
I'll see you
Paco
guys.
are pit
Pup.
bulls. They belong to the Buck family. Since they were pups, they